Hi, good day. Today is the 3rd of February, and we've not had a proper danokec gist in a while, especially after that, whole scenario of fake kidnap and all that. Okay, so I wanted to make this topic just after I realized certain things still within this case, because I learned lessons from a whole lot of things, and if you get to notice, each time we're supposed to have this danokec gist, if I tell you something or teach you something, I often make reference to, a personal experience. So I learn things from my personal experience. So I'm going to give you this topic or this lesson I think I learned. It is not just about isolation, because no matter how much you're being isolated, at a point you would need to be able to associate, right? Although when I talked about isolation, I'm not saying get into a room, lock yourself, don't talk to people, be alone, stare at the walls, stay in your own, how do they call that thing? Is it penetrary? I've forgotten how to put it. When you commit crime in jail and then they give you your own special place and tell you to be like that. No, that was not what I meant by isolation. By isolation, I meant you spend more time within yourself, talking to yourself, reflecting within yourself, getting focused at anything you're doing, and try to be good at that. That was basically because I really learned that half of the time spent in socializing with people, at the end of the whole day, you're left alone with your life challenges and with your, life decisions. So most times, there are certain decisions you made, like gisting, socializing, having fun, being in some group of company, not trying to, make some kind of move for some friends. That if you go back and turn those things, like if those things were like you being focused on yourself, working at your own skill, getting self improved, you'd have actually had a better present, right? So I look back and I discovered that if I was isolated back then, being focused on certain things, I may now have been living a better life. And I also read and saw a lot of worldly people, and I discovered they are more isolated building themselves. So that's what I meant by isolation, self improvement with yourself, not having one man island kind of life. Now, in as much as you're going to be isolated, where in reality, I actually call reality matrix. So you're in a world where you constantly have to snap back to reality. So for instance, sometimes I take a blunt, shade me out of this world, and for a few moments I'm on my head, I'm reflecting, I'm making the best decision. But then I just really get to understand that the mind and the body is like a whole different thing. The mind will really just want you to keep thinking, wondering, innovating, doing things. The mind has lots of beautiful creative things it wants to do. It wants to unveil this product, it wants to solve this problem. But then you get to understand that what the mind wants and reality is quite different. So on the mind, it wants to drive a Ferrari. So you close your eyes right now. You can imagine yourself in a G wagon, in a Rolls Royce, cruising around town. Staying in a very big mansion. It's as if you're building castles in your head. Yes, that is what the mind wants, right? Now, in order for you to really be in that castle and drive that Rolls Royce, now you're faced with reality, right? So you have to now start making move reality. So you also have to eat. You also have to have a shelter. You have to pay bills. So in as much as I love hitting up a blunt and staying within my face, thinking of the great things I could achieve, I also know that when it comes to just being isolated and thinking of those things, at the end of my isolation, I still have to face the real world and do something. Most people use drugs, highness, because it's shades away your pain, but then they tell you when those things clear off, you're being faced with reality. So what I discovered was isolation is nice. Like hit a blunt, I get isolated. I come up with all the beautiful plans because then your mind has no limit for imaginations and what it can achieve. You dare to dream more, you dare to see it. It feels good. Your brain is coming up with the best scenario. Your dopamine levels high. You're isolated. You're focused. You're building yourself. Now, when you're done with that, the next thing you need to focus on is building a network in the real world. Now, um, you really do not need much of a crowd. What I mean about network, network simply means you need people who are in a symbiotic relationship with you, people who you can offer something, and people who in return can offer something meaningful to you. That is a network. In every network involves sending and receiving data, right? If I'm connected to a network, I can send and receive data back and front. Now, what you need is a network. What you don't need is leeches or pipe. This is a drink. if I punch a hole right here now and put a pipe, it's gonna be if I punch a hole right here now, it's gonna be, what's it called again, leaking, right? Now that is what most friends are like. That is what most people around you are like. They're like pokers. They just poke into you. They keep taking your time. They keep taking your resources. They keep taking your mental time. Time and mental power you should have used to do reasonable thing. Just when you choke um a nail here, just the way this month is gonna be doing, that's how it's gonna be doing. Now a network, it's when you connect something like a pipe here, so the moth can drain, you can put something in. So when you are able to benefit through and from, when you're able to give and receive from certain kind of people, you call those people network. Like people who the world call connection. You need a network or you need a connection. People that will be able to be beneficial in one way or the other. Because then, in as much as I wish I was isolated years ago, oh, I wish I did not spend so much time playing with friends, doing this, doing that. Imagine I had spent so much time on my computer and trying to learn the best in software programming. I should have been a better person, right? Yes, that's true. But what is also true is, if I had still not been isolated, but had a network of a better people, people who would teach me more on software programming, people who are so obsessed with the next technology, people who are even creating better apps than I'm even thinking of, who are even pushing to greater limits than I'm pushing of, people who want to tell me new of this new fundraiser company that's ready to fund you, if you have a good tech startup, people who their uncle, their parents, their relative, their in-law wants to fund the next person, the next startup, people who have lots of opportunities around them that I could benefit from. I can tell you I must have probably had a good scholarship by now. I could have probably had a family who would have funded into one of my tech ideas I had. I would have actually had even a better career than I would have if I had spent time with myself. So you see that there are three kinds of people. We have punchers, we have you just being isolated, and then we now have you not being isolated, but you walking um semi isolated or um network isolated. So you're only isolated and you work with network. I think I could call that a network kind of isolation. So you have you, the normal you, who allows stupid people come close to you. People who are like, punchers, they puncture you and drain away your juice. Then you have you also being isolated. You're being focused on your skill, you're putting in your whole best. It's just you and your grind is you, your chi, your hustle, your focus, your grind. And then we have the third one, you with a big God. You have lots of connection, lots of good network with people around. Okay, I think they call it small God in the real world. In reality, they call it small world and small God. So now you have the third part, the network isolated you, which is you with lots of connections. You want to travel right now. Oh my God, you need to be in Abuja for a meeting, for a conference. But right now you will likely miss the flight. If you miss the flight, that simply means you have to hit by road because there's probably no way to hop on the nest, and there's probably no flight available again. But then you have Musa Hamed, which happens to be, one of the top organs at, the airport, and then you call him, good, is this Namdi Azikiwe airport? Yes, please, oh, I'm so and so person from so and so family, or from so and so this person. I have a flight to meet you. Okay, we're going to delay the flight longer for you for 20 minutes. Now your connection came through. You get to a particular point, you're in a particular place, you couldn't pull strings, he couldn't let you go. You make a phone call just where Floyd Mayweather was in Dubai, and then they said they're going to deport him. I don't know what he said. Either they said he was drinking or smoking, they're going to deport him. He just called the Prince of Dubai, and just when he called the Prince of Dubai, they started even apologizing. I don't know what they gave to him, but they apologized for even telling him they would deport him. Why? Because of connection. I mean, I could still have times 30 of what Floyd Mayweather has, but I would still be in that same position. How get me the pot? So you really get to understand that just that connection, being isolated, connected. Isolated simply means you focus on yourself, build your grind, improve yourself, just see your chi, your hustle. And then when you're in the real world, you network. Not when you're in the real world, you meet draining people. You can actually still isolate yourself, still be close to lots of focus, lots of information you're studying. And whenever you're not in the real world, because no matter you're isolated, you have to really come to the real world. You have to pay your bills, you have to work, you have to hustle, you have to eat, you have to beat. So at the point you leave your head to do things in real world, because you can't just be in your head alone. I mean, then it's not as if you're going gaga. You have to actually move and do things. Now, when you're actually trying to survive in the real world, you have to come in contact with people. So, what kind of people do you talk to? Do you listen to? You would have to talk to people. You can't shut your mouth all through. You don't have money coming in from nowhere. You have to really work or interact with people to receive, do transaction, and get money. So, what kind of people do you talk to often? What kind of people do you interact with often? Are they people who puncture you, or are they people who you can build a network around? And network with people who are above you, business partners, people whom you can have transactional relationship with. These are people who look forward to you. Somebody who does business with you wants you to prosper so you can buy more. So those are the only kind of real people I want to see around me. People who I know I benefit from and they can benefit from me. I don't want people whom can just benefit from me, because I notice people who can just benefit from me. Whenever I'm not able to give them that benefit, it turns into an enemy. And even sometimes they just wish I don't get blessings anymore, or they just wish my benefit cut short, just for no reason, right? So even if they're benefiting from me just for stupid and selfish reasons, I just don't want to have people who drain me around me. I want people around me to be business associates, to be people who I can give to, people who can give back to me, people who could be of a network. If I'm having an issue today, who can I call? Oh, when I was in school, there was a point I wanted to buy this GPU, this computer. I couldn't afford it. When I wanted to open my company, that was the time I needed money. There was nobody to invest in my business. So many startup I had went to zero. Now imagine I had a different kind of network. Imagine I had different kind of people surrounding me. So on today's just my advice to you, it's simple. Isolate yourself in a network related way. Spend more time building yourself, and when you're meeting people, it should be more of people who could help you achieve those dreams you had when you're isolated. So I want to have a very big ass castle, have a Rolls Royce. I want to live this kind of very fancy life. Now that is me thinking of those things when I'm isolated. Now in the real world, the kind of people I want to relate with are people who will be able to make me achieve those things. Not people who come and tell me how they have their own problems and I should help them. No, I don't need anybody. If you have your problems, keep your problem to yourself. I need people who can help me achieve my dreams. Now, there are lots of people who are very selfless in the world. They want to care about other people, so fine. I choose to be selfish. So I choose to look for only people who can help me achieve my dreams. I mean, the whole world cannot be selfless. Certain people have to be selfish. And me and you have choose to be selfish. We have choose to have just connections and network. You see people who are the world shakers, people who control the world, people who move the world. It's usually people who have connections, people whom you put them anywhere, one phone call, one connection is already setting them free. Now I want to be those kind of people. I don't want to be someone who all his life is sacrificing himself for the community, for everyone. At the end of the whole day, he's ending his life seeing those communities. Not everyone can even be there at his burial. Not everyone will even say have something good for him to say. So I'd rather be that guy that when he dies, the whole world says somebody has left the earth. The earth shake feels it. Like everybody knows somebody momentum has left. And this was somebody who only thought about himself, very selfish, thinking about to acquire all the billions, achieve all the goals. But yes, still he gets loved by the world because he achieved a lot. And those ones who are very selfless, keeping their dreams, when they die, it's just like every other burial. So me and you, we have choose to be selfless. We have choose to be isolated. We have choose to only have a good network of people. And then if you're that, if you support that notion, use the comment section. Let me know how you intend to change your life from being available to people who will puncture you to only being available to yourself, to think isolated, focus on your goals, and then when you're in the real world, you want to focus on people who make your dreams come true. Tell me how you intend to apply this in your life, and the best comment wins 100,000. See you on the just 3rd of February 2023.